Rain delay, but nothing too serious. It really never rained terribly hard, but the tarp was on the field. But now we are set for baseball, and the A's will head out of town and head to Anaheim after the ball game today. Game time weather here in Cleveland is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 81 degrees, and it's a little sticky and humid as always, but a nice day. Still a little bit of cloud cover. The Indians have yet to take the field. The youngsters are at their positions, but the big leaguers not quite there yet.
They're just trying to figure out all the moves they're making and if anybody's leaving or not. So maybe that. I know Terry Francona, the manager, Chris Antonelli, the president now, they were really busy trying to explain to everybody. There's a lot of press in the Cleveland clubhouse trying to explain everything that had been transpiring. I know that you've got all the information, as the guys in the truck do, as far as the acquisitions, and some they got, some they didn't get, and I think probably maybe the one they didn't get is as big as the one they got. But let's take a look at today's Nissan Keys game before we get this game started. It's all deals about the A's trying to win today. They've won 4 consecutive series, and of course a win today, they do avoid a series sweep, something they'd like to do this afternoon with Sonny Gray on the mound. And speaking of Sonny, trying to duplicate last July the 12th of 2015, right before the All-Star break, a 2-hit shutout spun by Sonny Gray against the Indians, and Corey Kluber the opposite number. So a very well pitched game by both guys in that game. It was Stephen Vogt, both All-Stars, he and Sonny Gray, heading to Cincinnati following the game. And Cap, I thought Stephen Vogt's best comment was, as he finished the game, he said, let's go have some fun.
Yep, and they did.
And they had some fun in Cincinnati. Of course, Sonny did not pitch. Stephen Vogt did play, and he was a 2-time All-Star now thanks to his selection this year.
So Corey Kluber, the starting pitcher for the Indians, leads his team out on the field. And we are just moments away from first pitch. Let's look at the lineup for the Oakland A's. Coco Crisp will lead off. He'll be in left field. Marcus Semien hits in the 2 spot. Josh Reddick is in right. Chris Davis will be the designated hitter. Stephen Vogt is your catcher. Then it's Yonder Alonso at first. Jake Smolinski in center. Max Muncy gets the start at second base today. He's been playing some second base down in the minor leagues. And Ryan Healy is your third baseman.
And it will be the right-hander Corey Kluber, the Cy Young Award winner for the Tribe in the American League a couple of years ago. And as Kite pointed out and gave a list of all the pitchers for the Indians and how they're signed long-term, Corey Kluber, the rock of this staff. He's the main guy. And of course, he's not really overpowering mid-90s fastball, but he has good movement on the sinker. He has good cutter. He throws a breaking pitch. It looks like a curveball, but it's more of a slider and a changeup. But he is not afraid to throw off-speed pitches any time of the count. And of course, what he's trying to do is what the A's are trying to do also. Kluber wants to complete the sweep, keep their best record, and the A's trying to avoid that.
Defensively for Cleveland, Almonte is in left, Naquin is in center, Chisenhall is in right. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Santana third to first, and Roberto Perez is the catcher. So Kluber finishing up his warm-up tosses. A's will have an off day tomorrow in Anaheim before opening up a 3-game series against the Angels on Tuesday night. And for these Cleveland Indians, they're going to stay home. They have a 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins starting tomorrow night.
Is that the team they can't beat? I think the show last night.
They're struggling with
they're beating everybody except the Twins. There's a new catcher tonight or this afternoon. Jimenez has caught the first 2. It's Perez in the series finale.
So Coco Crisp steps in, and we are set for baseball. Indians won on Friday night 5-3. Indians won last night 6-3. Umpires Hunter Wendelstedt will call balls and strikes. That's Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at first. Scott Berry's at second. Trip Gibson is down at third, and the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a strike. Crisp hitting .241, 9 homers, and 43 RBIs. Third baseman Ramirez in on the grass. This one's bounced right side. Santana ranging far to his right, and that's the first out. Big news in Cleveland this morning. I was drinking my coffee and I almost spilled. Our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Andrew Miller is a Cleveland Indian. Wow, you think they're excited here in Cleveland? there's extra smiles all around the ballpark. He's terrific. I mean, he is a major force, probably as good as any closer in baseball.
Yeah, well, he was a closer before he went to New York, where Chapman was, and he was the setup. They had Betances 7th, Miller for the 8th, and of course, big Hartford left-hander Chapman is now with the Cubs, pitching the 9th inning. So yes, quite an acquisition by the Indians.
Indians had to give up 4 prospects, and all good ones. One of them, Clint Frazier, an outfielder, is supposed to be extra special, and that's what it was going to cost the Indians. And the Yankees trade Chapman and trade Miller and get a whole haul of very good prospects. So you can see what the Yankees are doing. Nothing wrong with that.
And still have Betances to close.
Sure.
So it's not like, I mean, they gave or traded 2 very good closers. Terry Francona, the manager of the Tribe, got one of them, and Andrew Miller. But I thought what Chris Antonelli, the president, of course, taking over for the Tribe, he said that Cody Allen pulled him aside when they were in Kansas City, and he said to Chris, and he's the closer, we've seen him in 2 games, he said, do whatever you have to do to make us a better ball club. And Cody Allen is one that really is going to be the setup now. Although Terry Francona said, I'm not going to use just one guy for the 9th. I'll get whatever I have to do, and I think last night he showed that by having Shaw pitch the 8th, Allen the 9th in a 4-run game.
Well, I think what's great about this trade for the Indians too is now you have 2 closers. One's right-handed and one's left-handed.
Exactly.
So
right.
you can look at who's coming up in the 9th inning and say, all right, this is what we're going to do tonight. And both guys are going to be okay with that. Hard to say anything bad about the trade for the Indians. They got the best record in the American League, and they need to try to win it.
Yeah, straight back on Hunter Wendelstedt, the home plate umpire, and he got him in the right arm, and just below the protection there's the shoulder pads and the chest protector that go down over the right arm, but he got it, looked like underneath the padding. See the padding on his shoulders, but got underneath it. Tell you what, these guys do not get a lot of credit, but they deserve a lot, especially taking a shot like that, really unprotected, out there for 9 innings, and he takes a shot on the right shoulder, and Ray's giving him a little bit extra time, but Hunter Wendelstedt, I'm sure, has been hit a few times and just kind of stood there, let the pain go away eventually. Next week or so.
Another foul ball by Simeon. So we're talking about the Yankees trading these relievers, but they're not really giving up. What they did right after trading Miller is they acquired Tyler Clippard from the Diamondbacks. And Tyler Clippard, who's still a pretty good reliever, Ray, he is signed for next year.
That's right. Yeah.
So the Yankees, as much as it looks like they're having a fire sale, I really don't know that that's the case. They're selling high, and they still feel like, hey, wait a minute, we still have a decent team. So they went out and got Tyler Clippard.
Yeah, they probably don't feel they're finished this year, but if they have a chance to trade 2 major chips, and of course with Andrew Miller, he signed beyond this year. Chapman is going to be a free agent, and as it turns out, the A's have a chance to see both of those relievers. And considering the Yankees are finished, or the A's are finished with the Yankees, and now 2 of those guys are with clubs the A's are going to be seeing in the future.
Simeon strikes out.
Well, it's high breaking ball and maybe out of the strike zone, a little bit too close to take. See, Kluber got under it just a little bit. They left it up, but got away with it.
So here's Reddick, and the Yankees 4.5 games out in the wild card race. So it's starting to heat up, as they like to say. Zach Duke, left-handed reliever from the Chicago White Sox, this morning was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. So the relief market is starting to kind of bust open, and that's what a lot of people are looking for. 0-2 to Reddick, hitting .301, 8 homers, 28 RBIs. Swing and a miss. Good fastball, 93 miles an hour with some movement. So a 3-up, 3-down inning with a couple of strikeouts for Corey Kluber. Slightly in the top of the first. Let's look at the Tribe lineup today. Carlos Santana back in the leadoff spot. He's playing first base today. Then Kipnis, Lindor, Napoli, Ramirez, Chisenhall, Naquin, Almonte, and Perez.
And Sonny Gray, of course, well documented. And is pitching better. Picked up his 5th win in his last start against the Texas Rangers. Of course, he won his 4th. That was against the Blue Jays. So since the All-Star break, Sonny Gray pitching much better, and the A's hope that continues this afternoon. His ERA and his record still not where he wants it, but has a second half to improve it.
Defensively for the A's, Crisp, Smolinski, and Reddick in the outfield. Healy, Simeon, Muncy, Alonso on the infield. Stephen Vogt is your catcher. So Carlos Santana steps in, playing first base today. Santana 1 for 7 in the series. That one hit a home run, and he takes a strike. Indians come in again 59-42. That's the best record in the American League, and you have that 4.5 game lead over the Tigers, who are starting to heat up. Coming hard is Smolinski, and he goes into a slide, and he makes the catch in right center field. So that's out number 1 here in the first.
Well, those are the kind of plays you want to see made behind Sonny Gray, and to not give him a chance to get runners on base and have a big hit. So Smolinski, a good jump, which with Billy Burns being traded and Coco Crisp playing a lot of left field, so Smolinski looks like, at least for now and maybe the future, it's going to be the center fielder for the Athletics. And he's proven he can play there and plays quite well, gets good jumps, covers a lot of ground.
First pitch strike to Jason Kipnis. Good season for Kipnis, 288. 17 homers, 55 RBIs, good on base, good slugging percentage.
And they rode together to Cincinnati last year.
That's right. Kipnis has been an all-star a couple of times. So I'm not sure where that ball even bounced.
Yeah, no, way out in front of the plate. This was last night. Second batter that Dylan Overton faced, and a home run down the right field line. Well, that would be the first of 3 against Overton. One more against Liam Hendriks.
So Dylan Overton will try to regroup after a tough start yesterday. 10 hits, 5 runs in 3 1/3 innings.
The old sunflower seeds. What do you do in between starts? Eat seeds?
It makes you feel better. Kipnis slaps one foul. Indians have hit 5 home runs in this series. The A's have hit 4. So plenty of long ball action in the first 2 games. See what happens today. Swing and a miss as Vogt dropped it, picks it up, tags Kipnis, 2 outs.
And that's a good curveball. And Sonny Gray threw a couple of good ones to Kipnis. One for a called strike, this on a swing. And this is what he wants to get. Tempting, swing. Good stop by Stephen Vogt. And the ball close to the dirt. Kind of smothered it a little bit, let it roll out of his catcher's mitt, and then tagged Kipnis just to be safe. But 14 wild pitches by Sonny Gray, a lot of those with spiked curveball, like the one that was with 2 strikes way out in front of the plate.
First pitch strike to Francisco Lindor. Lindor is 2 for 6 in the series. Got an RBI. He's also walked once. Taps that one foul, and it's 0-2. Breakdown for Sonny Gray. 61% fastballs, 14 curve, 12 slider. Mixes in a change. How is that different, Ray, than maybe last year or the year before?
I think just the consistency more than anything. I mean, really the similar type pitches.
So he's not really throwing different pitches.
No, it's just the consistency and throwing the pitches that he throws. for strikes.
Semien, what a play. Gets up, throws, got him at first. Terrific play by Marcus Semien to end the bottom of the first. No score after one from Cleveland.
Pitcher still just one inning, but a great defensive play, which you have to have in a game like this. Lindor going for base hit. Backhand by Marcus Semien, planted through, did not have any time except to do exactly what he did. Reach out, catch the ball, come up, unload. Lindor with good speed, jump to the bag. Nice stretch by Alonso. Third out of the inning. Great play by Marcus Semien. And Kite, even though no batting practice, actually nothing on the field today yet, Ron Washington had Healy, Semien, Muncy, Kotze. Kotze was taking the throws at first, but those guys were out working, and not surprised to see the school of Ron Washington, and they were all working before the gates opened. He's the master. He's out early, and he's got them all scheduled to work.
0-2 to Chris Davis. Davis is the DH today. Vote to follow, and then Alonso. Kluber, a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, and Chris Davis is gone. 3 straight strikeouts for Kluber.
When they talk about Corey Kluber being a big strikeout pitcher, and you think breaking pitch, but how the 0-2 fastball challenged him. But you look so much for the off-speed pitches that when he throws the fastball towards the middle of the plate, that's usually the result. Chris Davis check swing on a curveball or slider before, then a fastball couldn't catch up to it.
Kluber this year 4th in the league in strikeouts and 5th in the league in innings pitched. But there's the strikeout numbers: Archer, Verlander, Price, and Kluber. 2014, when Kluber won the Cy Young, he struck out 269 in 235 innings. Last year, he struck out 245 in 222 innings. So what? I mean, it's not the numbers from Sam McDowell times, but yeah, I mean, it's, you get to 230, right, 240, 250 in strikeouts. That's a lot for a season. You know, you're talking 33, 34 starts.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing. You add another 7 or 8 starts to a 4-man rotation. That makes a big difference. Of course, it adds up the innings, but you don't see it in a 5-man rotation. That's why you get to 33 to 35 starts, depending on the off days and where you are in the rotation.
It'll pop up behind third, where Jose Ramirez has it.
Well, as we mentioned last July, Stephen Vogt, a walk to Billy Burns and a 2-run home run. Murphy, playing right field, had robbed Stephen Vogt early in the game. Of course, you remember that one, but this time the beardless one. Maybe that's what happened. It grows beard, but Stephen Vogt not only hit a 2-run home run, cut a 2-hit shutout. And the A's victorious over Kluber and the Indians. They won the series, won 2 out of 3 on that weekend. And then they headed to the All-Star game.
First pitch to Yonder Alonso is a strike. So Kluber very sharp early. He's jumping ahead of the hitters. Alonso at 247 with 4 homers, 31 RBI. That one's driven toward right center. Chisenhall's not going to get it. It's over his head, up against the wall. And Alonso digging for second, and he's going to have a double. So a well-struck ball by Yonder Alonso, his second hit in the series.
Well, we have seen Chisenhall. We saw him in the first game of the series. And he was playing shallow, so not surprising this hanging breaking ball got over the head of Chisenhall, who was playing in right field and shallow. He'll take the hits away. This one clearly over his head, bounced off the warning track. And hustling into second was Alonso with a 2-out double. That's what you want to see in a hanger like that. That's what you want to do to a hanging breaking ball. And right now Kluber, while he's getting on top of his fastball, he's kind of getting his elbow, dropping it, and getting under his slider. And as a result, that one hit hard by Alonso.
So that'll bring up Smolinski. A little bit outside to Smolinski, hitting .299, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. I think Kluber pitches from the far first base side of the rubber. This one popped up behind home. So the count even at 1-1. Smolinski had a hot streak going, and now he has cooled off. He's 1 for his last 16. But overall, good numbers. Playing in his 50th game. Shallow center field. Nate Quinn drifts over into right center. He makes the catch. Side retired. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Napoli, Ramirez, and Chisenhall. No score. And California is brought to you by AAA. Get a free A's cap with a new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch by August 30th. Restrictions apply. Welcome to Cleveland. We always feel welcome in Cleveland.
That's right.
I drop Ray Fosse's name in Cleveland numerous times while I'm here, and it's gotten me free.
Say who?
Niels. It's a great opening line. Do you know who I work with? You say that in a sports bar, you're going to get a free burger.
Yeah. Oh, they say, oh, Dwayne, huh?
No,
Dwayne
no.
He had the big home run. That was fun. The old red uniforms. Everybody looked okay. Boog Powell looked different. A solid red uniform.
Had a certain Santa Claus look to him. Cue shot and a nice play by Sonny Gray from his knees. He'll throw to first. Oh, the Christmas Story was filmed here in Cleveland.
Major League wasn't, though.
Major League was not. No.
They've done a lot of filming in the city of Cleveland.
We were here a couple of years ago. There was a big movie being filmed. I don't remember which one it was.
I think
Avengers? Okay.
Yeah, the guy said it's supposed to be like a New York scene, so they had all the food carts on the streets, and people went up to buy. I said, no, this is part of the movie.
No.
He didn't say anything.
First pitch to Ramirez is a bit inside. 293 for Jose Ramirez. 5 homers, 42 RBIs. It's a fan of the movie Major League. Had the Wild Thing shirt on. Ricky Vaughn.
That's right. We've seen a few jerseys that have number 99 Vaughn on the back.
So 2 away, a couple of ground ball outs for Sonny Gray here in the second inning.
I think from both pitchers' standpoint and the hitters facing them, they all know these pitchers are going to be around the plate, and that's why you're seeing contact. Of course, Kluber getting some strikeouts. Sonny had one couple of very good plays by Marcus Semien. But I think if you're a defensive player, you're alert, you're on your toes, because you're going to be around the plate, which means the Indians and the A's hitters are going to be swinging.
First pitch to Lonnie Chisenhall, strike. Chisenhall 0 for 4 in the series. Pop foul down the left field line. Chisenhall, a former #1 draft pick of the Cleveland Indians. He was the 29th overall pick in the 2008 draft. Third baseman by trade, but playing the outfield now for the Indians. I think the Indians are hoping that even though he's been in the big leagues over 4 years now, that maybe there's still one more level for him to get to.
I think all the outfielders have to be wondering too, and maybe even the front office, when's Brantley coming back?
Yeah,
and
that's a tough
how
one.
they may change the outfield complexity. Of course, they've got the moving parts, as we've talked about in the series, that Terry Francona can use players at different positions.
Chisenhall, that is a good breaking ball, and that's going to be a strikeout. Second strikeout for Sonny Gray. 6 up, 6 down for Sonny, and we're scoreless after 2 in Cleveland. CSN California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. That area right there called the Flats here in Cleveland.
I was told it's making a big comeback.
Coming back. It used to be the place to be for entertainment.
And then it kind of went bad, and now they brought it back. And so all of downtown Cleveland, the modernization of the great downtown city, they hope to continue, but the Flats, one of those areas.
Max Muncy leading it off. Muncy playing second base today. Ray, did you find that interesting? I know he had said that he's been playing in the minor leagues there.
Playing there, playing right field as we saw him when he was up the previous time. But when Ladendorf was sent back, and Jed Lowry's been given some days off, and Ladendorf had been starting at second. So Max Muncy went back to the minor leagues, played some second base. He actually went to winter baseball and went down the Mexican League, but was ill, had not able to stay as long as he wanted to. So trying to improve himself. He's actually been warming up pitchers in the bullpen. Total versatility, what you'd like to see.
What kind of a manager's dream?
Absolutely. And you think back to the Colby Lewis game at the Coliseum. It was Max Muncy who broke it up. Hit a double to right field that Mazara could not get to. Also tried to bunt, bunted back towards Lewis early part of the game.
Line drive, and that's a base hit to left field. Leadoff man aboard for the A's.
It's good hitting, smart hitting. Opposite field on a breaking pitch up in the zone. And especially with a couple of strikes, just protecting as they tried to go the back door and didn't do anything except stay up. And Max Muncy, while he pulled his first major league home run to right center field off Samardzija, this one to left field, which is good hitting. Try to pull it, it's a ground ball or pop up.
So here's Ryan Healy. First pitch is high to Healy. Was out of the lineup last night for the first time since being called up. Overall 255.
He's either just a very friendly baseball player or he has somebody in every city, because he was down by the A's dugout before the game, the rain delay, that talking to some fans. But he's a very personal young man, as we have seen in the post-game interview.
Could be same group that followed him to Oakland.
That's a good point.
There was like 65 of them down in the field.
He gets his paycheck and he finds out those tickets aren't free.
I thought he was giving a clinic after every game.
A photography.
1-2 the count. We're joking and exaggerating at the same time.
No, he's a nice young man. Actually, it's good to see the personality, a good personality, and that's a compliment to Ryan Healy, that you like to see the good personalities and fan friendly, and that's what Major League Baseball wants all around the teams.
2-2 to Healy, crisp to follow.
Hey, really, there's no better thing for a young player, especially get the big leagues, get a chance to take the photographs in your Major League uniform. And that is, get down on the field, you have the access and get it done.
Swing and a miss. Looked like maybe a cut fastball, 90 miles an hour, but again, that late cutting action, which we see from a lot of pitchers now.
Well, you see it going right to the catcher's mitt, and then right there goes away. So
what a great pitch.
That is, and he throws the cutter a lot. And just enough to take it off the bat, either towards the end of the bat or off the bat in this case.
So 1 out, top of the order. Coco Crisp steps up. 4 strikeouts for Kluber in the early going. Fastball a little bit outside. A's are 47 and 57. So this is game number 105 for the Athletics. 23 and 28 on the road. Final game of July. These are 12 and 13 this month. So it's been a good second half. They did struggle a little bit leading up to the break. And that's what kind of has hurt the July record overall. But 9-6 in the second half. And you know what? They've played decent baseball here. Just Overton did not have it last night. Not easy to win on the road. And this is a good Indians team.
That's the reason they say 500 on the road, and take advantage of your home schedule and try to do better there. He's trying to get to 500 overall this season.
Two and one to Coco. Bounced out to first in the first inning. Hits it hard to short. Lindor. Kipnis got him. So 6-4-3 double play. A close play at first. No score as we go to the bottom of the third. Yet through the first two innings. He'll face the bottom three in the Indians order: Naquin, Almonte, and Perez. A couple of strikeouts for Sonny. He's trying to win for the second start in a row. The Rangers on Tuesday night. Up the middle into center field, and that is the first hit, and it belongs to Tyler Naquin.
Right, July the 12th, 2015, right here in downtown Cleveland. Sonny Gray against Corey Kluber. A two-hit shutout for Sonny Gray, and the only hit was a base hit by Lindor. He raced on a double play, and Musella got another hit, and that was it. Stephen Vogt drove in 2 runs with a 2-run home run, and there it is. Let's go have some fun. And they did, and there's your all-star. And Sonny Gray, of course, I'm sure, as any player would do, position or pitcher, say there's a certain time that I felt great. Well, that was it for Sonny Gray in a game that he pitched in career against the Indians, the lowest ERA against a team, and you can see why with those numbers that he's had against the Tribe.
Just 2 earned runs allowed in 4 starts. This is his 5th against the Indians.
It's good that Almonte took a pitch, but last night he swung at everything. First pitch, and he hit the ball hard.
Naquin's 3 for 4 in steal attempts. Good early ball strike ratio for Sonny Gray. Defense straight up for Almonte. Squeezed in the middle with middle infielders, and there's a base hit to center field. Smolinski slipped a little bit. Grass could be a little bit wet after the rain.
Well, unfortunately, the one thing we have seen is that the bottom part of the batting order against Sonny Gray this year has been tough against him. And back-to-back hits, a pitch that was elevated to Almonte. You do not want to do that with this aggressive hitter. And he crushed it up the middle. But there's something about the bottom third of the batting orders that Sonny has faced this year. And let's hope that is not the case today. Terry Francona can let his catcher hit away, or he could bunt him.
Well, Perez 1 for 23 this year, so we'll see if it is a bunt. Alonso doesn't think so. He's back. Healy even with the bag. And the first pitch is inside.
That's a good call, because Alonso now coming in even with a bag. And ideally, of course, we've said it often, runners at first and second, nobody out. The bunt ideally goes to third. Sonny Gray is an outstanding fielding pitcher. So for Healy, he maybe does not need to charge as quickly as normal, because Sonny Gray can cover to the first as well to the third base side, may be able to get the lead runner.
Inside again. So after the game last night, the Indians announced that they had acquired Jonathan Lucroy, the all-star catcher from the Brewers. That was huge news. And Lucroy has a no-trade list, 8 teams on his no-trade list, and one of them was the Indians, which means the deal is done. Lucroy has to say, okay, I will go there, and waive the no-trade. And this morning, it was announced that Lucroy did not waive the no-trade, and he said, no, I'm not going there. Not because he didn't want to come to Cleveland. There's a lot of different reasons for it. He had some bargaining power. He used it.
Well, somebody said that he wanted to tear up the option for next year, which made him a rental player, which changes everything as far as the compensation from the Tribe to the Brewers.
Yeah, Lucroy has a contract for this year and a club option for next year, and it's reasonably priced. It's a little over $5 million. So he used his rights. He asked the Indians, hey, rip up that second year and let me become a free agent. Well, then the Indians said, well, we're not going to give the Brewers the same package that we gave them for a year and a half of you for just 2 months of you. And things started to kind of fall apart. Foul ball, and now it's 3-2. So there was about an hour period this morning where the Indians thought they had both Lucroy and Miller, but then Lucroy said no, and we'll see what happens with Jonathan Lucroy.
I think the point taken that when Lucroy had those 8 teams that he mentioned, he said he wanted to play for a winner. The Indians weren't playing that well. Maybe when that contract was signed. But now you have the team with the best record in the American League, first place in the Central Division, and odds are a pretty good chance they'll go to postseason.
Perez swinging away, and it's a ball. So the 9th place hitter, who has just 1 hit all year and was trying to bunt, ends up walking.
He's asking for a check swing at first base. And this is what Bob Melvin is saying. He did not swing, so that's not a swing, and maybe that's why Stephen Vogt did not ask for an appeal to first base.
Yeah, it did look like the pitch just a little bit low, not a lot. So now Sonny Gray in a world of trouble with the bases loaded, nobody out, and the top of the order coming up for the Indians. There's Carlos Santana. Santana with a big swing and a miss.
That woke up the crowd, didn't it?
It did.
It's just all of a sudden a big buzz.
If John Adams isn't waking up the crowd.
See if those same people there from Friday night. I bet they bought earplugs.
Santana hit a fly ball to center field in the first. Ripped foul down the right field line. Well foul.
Well, a strikeout and a double play. Best case scenario for Sonny Gray. Hayes with a shift to the right side, and always a concern when you do that, because only one and the entire left side of the infield open. And now with 2 strikes, to see if Santana shortens his swing, slows it down a little bit.
blocked by Vogt.
Well, this was Santana on Friday night, and against Kendall Graveman, that made it a 3-1 game. Reddick almost caught it right center. 22nd home run for Santana. Playing first base today. Took his sunglasses off with the overcast skies.
Now Sonny's ready. Down and in, 2-2.
Well, it looks like he has shortened his swing, Cat, because those curveballs have been pretty good, especially the second one. First one in the dirt.
Naquin at third, Almonte at second, Perez at first. Foul straight back, big rip by Carlos Santana. Kipnis to follow. Shift is on. Semien to the right side of second base. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a high fastball. So Gray gets the first big out.
Talk about going after just anything. That was anything right there. Not even close to a strike. Could have been 3-2. Instead, goes up the ladder big time out of the strike zone, and the aggressive swinging of Santana, no chance to catch up to a fastball, not even close. And that's the ideal right there. And of course, with the bases loaded, Santana just trying to put the ball in play, gift run at third base. And well, now if Sonny can get a double play ground ball, he's got 3 ground ball outs already this early part of the game.
Kipnis bounces one into right field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Almonte, and Reddick cannot pick it up clean, and it's going to be a 2-run single for Kipnis, and the Indians lead 2-0. There's a big hole on the right side, and Kipnis found it.
Well, got the ground ball, but boy, you find the hole. That takes away any possibility. That's a very hittable pitch, too. That pitch was up. Sonny Gray actually going over to first, thinking that maybe Alonso could get it, but there's your hole, and Alonso couldn't get it. And Reddick thinking he had a chance to throw out Almonte, which he did not. And fortunately kept the ball in front of it. So Perez could not go to third.
Opponents putting first pitch in play this season. Interesting.
We have 2 in this inning. Actually, got 2. Naquin, and now.
And that one passed Vogt, and both runners are going to move up. The wild pitch has been an issue for Sonny Gray this year. That is number 15.
Well, and see where the ball bounced in front of the plate. And while Stephen Vogt did a very good job of blocking the ball in the dirt, that was in this inning. That was with Santana at the plate, a curveball in the dirt. Hunter Wendelstedt got it again as this ball spiked in front of the plate, and then Stephen Vogt moved. Hunter got it on the right side again. But when a ball is out in front like that, sure it's going to check up and hit the catcher. But you have to move, and that's all you can move, to just try to get in front of it.
Lindor grounded out to short. Infield comes in, and this one's popped up. We'll head back into the seats.
Cap, you know, we talk about the 15 wild pitches now.
Yeah.
How many have been blocked? You know, I mean, that's something you look at the wild pitches, but there's never that column that says blocked pitches in the dirt. That could be more.
Oh, no question.
Could be a lot
He's
more.
blocked a lot.
He has, and I think, you know, while you look at that pitch and say, well, he didn't block you. Well, Stephen Vogt has done a remarkable job this year when he's caught him, because that is a very, very tough pitch to try to block.
Strike. Off speed, 1-2.
Well, this may be an adjustment with the runner at third of the curveball, because it stayed up. A good curve and a strike. But while it's a strike, you want the biting one down to get the hitters to swing instead of the one that stays up to them.
One-two pitch. Hit in the air toward left center. Smolinski's going to get over there. Perez will tag. Perez will score. So the wild pitch hurts Sonny Gray, and it's 3-0 Indians.
That wild pitch happened to put the guy who walked, the ninth place hitter with one hit, to third base. Could not accomplish the sacrifice, so ended up walking, and now a runner at second. That's a curveball. Again, it was one that Lindor was able to at least go down and hit deep enough to center field.
And that's why everybody's so high on Francisco Lindor. If you watch that at bat rate, he just has to put it in play.
Sure.
And he took quite a bit out of his swing. That wasn't really a bad pitch by Sonny Gray. High and deep, left center. Gone. Nothing Indians here in the third.
Wow. Liftoff. Watch this liftoff. Hanging curveball. And I think Sonny knew it. It got up in the air, and with the power of Mike Napoli, just unbelievable strength, especially with that kind of swing.
So Napoli now 24 home runs and 72 RBIs. Towering drive.
Well, Smolinski went back. There was hope, but not much, as the ball just kept traveling.
Well, that wall out there is 19 feet high. So 0-2 to Jose Ramirez.
I hope Napoli wasn't on the phone to the guy in center field who was telling him what pitch was coming.
Thank you. He was thanking him. For Mike Napoli, career hit number 1,000. So, nice milestone for Napoli. He does it in style.
Well, two games come to mind, and what a great shot that is. Ball coming down and netting. But you know, the game against the Rangers, Sonny Gray had a 5-run inning when he had a 5-0 lead. In the last game against the Rangers, he almost had another 5-run inning.
That's right.
But Odor decided to try to go to second when Reddick threw him out. But this is unfortunately a 5-run inning.
So 5-0 Indians after 3. CSN California is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. 5-0 Indians lead the A's. It's the top of the 4th inning. There's Ricky Vaughn, number 99, hanging out.
Well, at the corner, then the late Ernie Harwell, when he would come in here, he would say, "Hey, they got a corner here." Because he was all talking to the corner of, oh, what happened? Second base bag. Something's going on.
A little loose. Yeah. You can see it sitting up a little bit. Well, that's not good.
Just move the dirt out. Pick it up. Dig it out.
Get a spoon.
It's got some dirt in it, so it wouldn't go flush to the ground. Bring your vacuum cleaner out and suck the dirt out. Somebody, maybe Max Muncy slid in hard on the double play, kind of upended it a little bit, because it's got to be flush to the ground as it is right now. Otherwise, just put some dirt around the bottom of it.
Sure.
But you don't want it loose, because if the guys use the bag to push off as they round the bag, and it's loose, and as we have said, the top of the bases are very slippery.
So Marcus Semien leading it off, top of the 4th. Kluber with 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. He's been sharp. He's given up 2 hits. So a shutdown inning opportunity for Corey Kluber. He's been pretty good. Kluber is 30 years old.
A late bloomer, as they say, because he has come into his own a little bit later in his career. A very good pitcher, nonetheless, and in the rotation and the leader of this group. They got a lot of younger guys in the rotation, but they get to the point they start feeding off themselves to the point that they are pitching well, then I think good things are going to happen.
And he's got another strikeout. That's 5. 2 good seasons for Kluber's last 2. The 2014 one got him the Cy Young. He was 18-9. Remember, he just edged out Felix Hernandez in a very close vote. Last year he pitched very well, but the run support low and the record not very good, 9-16. But I think he's a legitimate ace. And in the theme of the trade deadline, he was originally with the San Diego Padres, but trade deadline 2010, remember there was a huge deal between the Padres, the Indians, and the Cardinals. It was Jake Westbrook. Jake Westbrook went from the Indians to the Cardinals. Ryan Ludwig was involved. There was some minor leaguers involved, and one of those guys was Corey Kluber. He was with the Padres. He ended up with the Indians. He had not been in the big leagues yet, and it took him a little while.
And what that says, Kite, is that the scouting departments are good, because the scouts during the trading deadlines are out and about, because teams that are trading major pieces, they want good players in return. And that's when they're very important to get out and be able to see those players so they can make the recommendations.
Yeah, so in July of 2010, as I'm looking, he was in Double-A. So he's a Double-A pitcher, having some success.
And becomes a Cy Young Award winner.
You know, that's the guy the Indians wanted, and that's a good move. Sometimes you just got to realize if he's in Double-A when you trade for him, it may be 2-3 years, but and now he's the anchor of the staff. Good first pitch to Davis.
And at one time, and I'll be honest with you, whenever the team played down by the lake at Municipal Stadium, there were some players that said the good thing about playing for the Indians, you don't have to come to Cleveland for road trips. Well, bottom line, it's a good city, and they have made a lot of changes in a new stadium, and you know, the fan support is outstanding if you're successful, which, you know, that really happens in every city. But this is a hitter-friendly stadium.
And whether this matters or not, and I think it does, it's a mild-mannered media city. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes that can wear players down, but that's not going to be the case here in Cleveland. Hard Facts Board today brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Who are the home run leaders in Cleveland Indians history? It's Jim Thome. And then Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, Earl Averill, Al Trosky, Larry Doby. Andre Thornton was here last night. Hafner, Rosen, and our old friend Rocky Colavito.
That's right.
The Rock.
Well, see that Jim Thome statue? That's one arm. Rocky used to do both hands. Just point that bat with both hands right to the pitcher. Thome, 612 home runs in his major league career. Larry Doby, the first African-American player in the American League. We talk so much about Jackie Robinson. His number 42 retired. Larry Doby was with the Indians and set the stage for the American League right after Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, so a couple months.
Yeah.
Chisenhall, Naquin, and Almonte here in the bottom of the fourth.
Rick Manning was telling me that, of course, April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day around baseball, and everybody wears number 42. But the thing that Rick Manning said, because Larry Doby was the first in the American League, first African American, he said on their TV side they have a special show every time that anniversary comes up for Larry Doby.
Sure, and you know, and maybe it goes unnoticed too much.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Albert Bell was also inducted into the Indians Hall of Fame last night. He was not here, but man, could he mash or what? Oh my.
You know, Stan Musial did something that Albert Bell, I think, was the first to do it since him, and that was to have 100 extra base hits. You think about a season in which you get 50 home runs and 50 doubles. 100 extra base hits. I mean, you may hit 50 doubles, you may not hit 50 home runs, but Albert Bell was the complete package. And I still say, he stayed in that uniform and stayed here. Been a whole different career. Of course, he had a hip injury that curtailed his career, but he was a great player and a great hitter. And this park was suited for him so well. He's out at Heritage Park and is one of the Cleveland Indians Hall of Famers.
It's going to be another hit. And trying for third is going to be Chisenhall. The throw is in time. They got him.
Got him on the foot. What a great throw by Josh Reddick. And a great play at third on the head first slide. They're going to take a look at it. But the third base umpire, Trip Gibson, watching the tag. Very strong throw. Not surprised that Naquin was trying to go. We'll see what the review is. But a strong throw in the air. And they decided to go against, not challenge it, because Ryan Healy caught the ball, tagged him on the backside before the hand got on the bag. And that is a tremendous play by Josh Reddick, and just add to his great play and his hitting and that throw in the air. And Ryan Healy, and of course the old saying, first out of third, and Josh Reddick got it.
So Naquin stays at first, and here's Abraham Almonte.
I said Nicholas Chisenhall trying to go to third. My mistake.
First pitch strike to Almonte. Let's take another look at this throw.
This is what he's trying to do with Almonte at second. This is a better chance to get him in the air, and head first slide by Chisenhall as Healy caught the ball, tagged him, and kept running. And actually reached back, looked back to Trip Gibson, pointing out that he had tagged him, and indeed he had. And he did look at it. And they said, "Let's play baseball."
Almonte 4 for 6 in this series. He loops one to right. Reddick coming in, not going to get it. Quick throw to second, and Naquin is just able to get there. So 3 straight hits here in the 4th inning against Sonny Gray. He's now given up 7 hits in the game.
And ironically, it was the last game that Sonny pitched that Reddick threw out Odor at second. And today he throws out Chisenhall. I hope that could help now, as he did in the game in Texas. Bob Melvin going out. Reddick come in a very strong throw to the top. And the skipper coming out, and simply just a word of encouragement. Here's what we're looking at, Kipe. Opponents. 8th hitter 465, the 9th hitter 450.
That is very strange.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah. And I don't know that you could find a legitimate explanation for that.
No,
I mean,
and we never say it as talking negatively about the bottom part of the batting order, but the bottom line, if you're hitting there, it's usually because you have a lower batting average.
Exactly.
And you know, everybody said, "Well, I'm hitting there; it doesn't matter." Well, it does, because otherwise, if you're hitting higher, you'll be higher in the batting order. So that's what we say. Almonte 235, Perez 043 in the lineup today.
And here is Perez, who walked and scored in the 3rd. First pitch strike. And we've also talked quite a bit this weekend about the Indians lineup being long, meaning that they get production 1 through 9. Now the 9th place spot, not so much with them, but 6, 7, and 8 does a pretty good job. And today, well, today is a perfect example. Naquin 2 for 2, Almonte 2 for 2, Perez with a walk.
And Perez tried to bunt, and he couldn't throw him a strike. And you get a 3-2, and on the 3-2 you walk him, then you know that's just adding insult to injury when that happens. And you know, Terry Francona admitted, and of course Lucroy turned down the trade, and with Yan Gomes on the disabled list, a very, very good defensive catcher, although his offense is not good this year. But Terry Francona basically said, we have 2 backup catchers right now on our roster, in Perez and Jimenez.
Yep.
And you know, but Terry appreciates their defensive abilities, calling the game, blocking balls in the dirt. But Yan Gomes, when he's healthy, and talking to him today, he said his right shoulder is taped. He's going to start some baseball activities, but for 2 weeks he could do nothing. So they're looking probably, well, this is the end of July 31st, probably the end of August, 1st of September before he comes back.
He's got a separated shoulder.
I asked him if he's going to be coming out west in late August. He said, I don't know, because I don't know how it's going to progress. But you know, I'm thinking about Jonathan Lucroy. Yan Gomes is signed, as you said, for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Just wonder if Yan Gomes, of course, Lucroy is a very good offensive player, so they'd find a place for him. But I just wonder if he thought maybe after this year, when Gomes comes back and healthy, would he do a lot of the catching?
Well, yeah, I mean, Yan Gomes, yeah, his contract goes through 2019, so it is long. But you're also losing Napoli. Is going to be a free agent. Who knows if they bring him back? Could open up the DH spot. But there was some talk about Lucroy being concerned about, well, what about next year? Am I going to play every day? Because after next year, I'm a free agent.
Exactly.
I want to play every day.
That's right.
Bounced into left field, a base hit. Here comes Naquin. He's got very good speed. He's going to score. And the 9th place hitter, Roberto Perez, knocks in a run.
Back-to-back at bats, 3-2 count, and you're flirting with danger when you do that. You try to put him away, and walk him one time, he scores. A base hit the next time on a 3-2, and really had to challenge him, which he did. And the pitcher entered half of the plate. And the ball bouncing over into left field. And of course, once it hit the ground, the runner from second able to take off easily. And with the speed, like you said, with Naquin.
Still only one out. It's now 6-0.
20 pitches in the first 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down for Sonny Gray. I got it for 25 pitches in the 3rd inning alone. And in this inning, a lot of pitches up to 59 now.
And now the top of the order in Santana. So 4 consecutive hits. And Colon starts to throw.
We talked with Overton last night, 3 1/3 in bullpen. Fortunately, Zach Neal gave the A's 3 innings. Turned out to be an 8-inning game because the A's were trailing on the road. Liam Hendricks an inning and 2/3. Zach Neal did a great job and really not allowing anything with the A's already down 6-2 at the time.
2-0. You can almost see the frustration mounting in Sonny Gray when he has these starts where he just can't seem to get his hands around the opposition and get through the lineup 3 times. Something that it's not a problem for the first 3 years for him. This year it has been. So 2-1 now to Santana, who has hit a fly ball to center field, and he has struck out. Santana 1 for 9 in the series, but a very dangerous hitter with his 22 home runs. Three and 1. Kipnis to follow.
And Kuhnel might be getting loose for him, and that would not be good.
And he missed outside, and it's a walk.
Bob Melvin asking Kurt Younger if he's ready.
So second walk, and that's going to do it for Sonny Gray. 3 1/3. And 8 hits and 6 runs so far for Sonny Gray, and that is a tough outing and a disappointing outing. So takes the baseball when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Brown will return to the Coliseum Saturday, August the 13th. Fans can meet Star Wars costume fan groups during the game, and for everyone in attendance will enjoy post-game fireworks so big and bright, it's sure to awaken the Force. Special ticket package includes a Stormtrooper beanie. Get tickets now at athletics.com/Star Wars.
So the bases are loaded, 1 out here in the 4th inning. Daniel Colon will just try to slow this thing down. Kipnis will hit. Almonte at 3rd, Perez at 2nd, Santana at 1st. So Kipnis had a big hit in the 3rd inning, a 2-run single.
But if he could have gotten Kipnis out with a double play after striking out Santana on the pitch way out of the strike zone, that might have been a bigger savior for him.
Kipnis has had a big series. He's 5 for 9 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Kipnis drives this one to left center. Coco's on the move, and Coco makes the catch. Spins around, fires it back in. Coming in to score is Almonte, and it's 7-0 Indians.
Well, I don't know that the ball really had any chance to slice back. Hit very hard by Kipnis, but Coco Crisp ran it down, maybe right at the end, and sliced back into his glove, which left fielder can have the left-handed bat do that. But a great catch by Coco Crisp, got it back in, and everybody had to kind of stand pat just to see what was going to be happening.
So that's the 2nd out, and here's Lindor, who now will hit from the right side.
Well, thankfully, Chisenhall was thrown out at 3rd.
So Lindor finishes the inning, but it's 2 runs on 4 hits for the Indians. So 5th inning coming up, 7-0 Cleveland.
Presented by Chevron, Gerton Fixed Income Management, Independent Electric Supply, Lagunitas Brewing Company, Sharp Investments, and Crystal Clear Imaging will be on Saturday, August the 6th at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. Proceeds for this private fundraiser benefit the A's Community Fund. And my partner is a 300 strike thrower, man.
6 games added up. That group's having a good time out in right field. They're in the ballpark watching the game and also enjoying themselves. 7-0 the Indians lead, trying to sweep the A's. So a lot of work for the Athletics, facing a very good pitcher in Corey Kluber. Mentioned the fact that Kluber signed that long-term contract with the Indians. It's through 2019, but there's club options through 2020 and 21. So he's basically, if pitching well, he'll be with the Indians through 2021.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that people are excited about the Indians is the fact that they have all these pitchers in their rotation under control for a while. And most teams don't have that luxury. Not only are they good, but they're under contract. Carlos Carrasco, who's a very fine young pitcher, he signed a long-term contract. It's through 2020. So you know you're going to have Kluber and Carrasco. Danny Salazar is a very talented young right-hander. He's not going to be a free agent until after 2020. Well, there's 3 guys that you know you're going to have for 4 more years after this year. Just saw Josh Tomlin, who pitched last night. They got a club option on him in 2018, so they could have him 2 more years. So this is why the Indians have a window, as we like to say, and it's not a 1 or 2 year thing. It's probably a 3 or 4 year thing.
Right there. Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner with 3 tribesmen in between.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah. So for Terry Francona, putting out the lineup every day is a good shot.
Vogt drops one down the third base line. So Stephen Vogt's going to hustle in the second with his 21st double.
Tried to do it the last time. It was caught by the third baseman. This time just flipped it down the left field line, pitch outside, and Stephen Vogt with his first hit of the day and a double down the left field line. Slice it just enough to stay fair. And you know it's fair because the crowd is very quiet.
Yep.
7-run lead, 7-0 lead for the Tribe, but they're still quiet. And once again, the outfield of the Indians extremely shallow with Yonder Alonso, who doubled over Chisenhall's head in his first at bat. They remain shallow.
So 3 hits now for the A's against Kluber. Fastball outside. To finish that thought on the Indians and their long-term outlook, we saw Trevor Bauer on Friday. He's the same thing. He's not even arbitration eligible yet. Andrew Miller, their new pitcher, he's got 2 years left in his contract after this year. And Allen, the closer, he's got 3 more years. I mean, so it's sitting right there for him.
Then you have Lindor up the middle.
Yep, he's not going.
You got Kipnis, the All-Star.
Kipnis is signed to a long-term deal.
And Kid Naquin in center field.
Yep.
So I mean they've got a complete club.
They're not a high revenue team, and they have some restrictions, but
and they're not a high payroll team either, but they're taking advantage of the players that they have and keeping them in the fold as much as they can.
Yeah, they're 27th out of 30 teams this year in payroll, 74 million, and that'll go up a little bit now with Miller.
But if they win, then the extra money that you bring in postseason, it more than takes care of any additional money you might have to spend because of acquiring players. And they just announced on their big jumbotron the welcoming of Andrew Miller.
Do you hear?
I don't know, but they just showed his picture up on their jumbotron, and they got a nice applause from the crowd on hand today. Fans are very well aware of this time of the year and what clubs are trying to do.
Backing up is Almonte. He's got it, and Vogt thought about tagging. So Alonso is retired.
Even with a 7-0 lead, while Alonso was trying to pull the ball, Corey Kluber pitched him outside every pitch. He went to 3-1, stayed outside, and Alonso tried to drive it, got under it, and did not advance the runner. There it is. That's what they just showed on the jumbotron. 6-1 record. Of course, you don't see any saves because he wasn't saving. How about strikes per 9 innings? Strikeouts, jeez. And he went from Boston to New York as a free agent and now to Cleveland. Smolinski
takes down and away. Smolinski hit a fly ball to center field in his first at bat. That was in the second inning. The trade deadline is tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. here in the East Coast. So I don't know exactly how it all works, but man, I got to believe there's a lot of conversation going on today, because you really have to have some things in order by late tonight if you're going to do a deal tomorrow. You have the morning tomorrow, but
and I just wonder too, and then they said the Lucroy deal was pending a physical. If he declined the, but you know, usually if you're going to acquire a player and it's got any money attached to his contract, you want a physical to make sure he's okay. Because you don't want to have a player show up and then after, if it's a pitcher, make a couple of starts and he's got a bad arm.
Yeah, that's what happened to the Marlins. Yeah. They got Colin Ray along with Cashner from the Padres, and Ray, his first start, left with a sore elbow. Towards Santana, who's playing well off the bag, but he has time to get over to first. So 2 outs. Vogt now at third. It is a crazy time, though, and we laughed about it before we came on the air. NFL doesn't really have a trade deadline. NBA does. The NBA trades are a little different. There's everything has to be equal in the trade. Money has to be equal. So those trades are a little bit different. Hockey has a fairly active trade deadline, but I don't think any of those are like baseball.
No. And I'm just thinking that you look at opening day, the excitement building up to opening day. That's one day. Then you have April, May, June. And then the All-Star game in July, excitement.
And then you start talking about
trading deadlines, the end of July. Then you're talking about trying to get a player on your roster by September 1st. So he's eligible. If of course he has to clear waivers. This is a non-waiver deal. Now you can move players, but after tomorrow, then if you acquire a player, that player has to clear waivers. And that's where teams better be good and watch the waiver wire, because if a player is trying to be snuck through and he gets through, that's not good for the people supposedly watching the waiver wire.
No.
But that's the only way a player can change teams after tomorrow is clear waivers. And then they can make a deal. And then there's some things that can happen that teams agree to. I'll let this one go if you let mine go or whatever. But bottom line, at that point, you try to get them, and you want to get them before the 1st of September so they're eligible for postseason. If you get them after September, then they're not. And the new rule now is that anybody suspended for PEDs is not eligible for postseason. D. Gordon is back with the Marlins, but if they make it to postseason, he can't participate. He can help them get there, but after that, that's it.
Well, too, I don't think any of the other sports, when it comes to trades, I mean, 90% of baseball trades this time of year are established players for prospects.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
And that makes it even more intriguing. Because you don't know a lot about the prospects. You know, I mean,
it's like a draft choice.
I mean, you're just hoping that they turn out to be as good as you think they're going to be.
And in football and basketball, they use the colleges for their minor leagues. Sure. So it's hard to, well, you don't make trades for somebody in college. So baseball is unique. Long season, 6 months, 162 games, and it's definitely the marathon. And then the sprint begins in September, or actually in October. But a lot of excitement throughout the season in baseball on those various dates.
Muncy trying to get the A's on the board. The count sitting at 3-2. Vogt the runner at third. Missed inside, and Muncy has a good at bat.
Base hit in his first at bat on a pitch away from him. Base hit to left field. This time started 0-2. Fouled off the third pitch. Stayed at 0-2 and drew a walk.
Kluber does not walk a lot of guys.
Said that about Tomlin last night too. So you combine all of that with the wins, pitching deep into ball games. So the A's looking for one swing. And this is a good guy to do it if he can make solid contact. First hit, a 3-run home run off of R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer.
First pitch is popped up. Shallow right. Kipnis is called off by Chisenhall, who makes the catch, and the A's strand a pair. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 7-0 Indians. Robert William Andrew Feller, the heater from Van Meter, Bullet Bob, or Rapid Robert, whatever you wanted to call him. He was pretty good. 18 seasons for the Indians, pitched from 1936 to 1941, and then 45 to 56. He had a 4-year run in the Navy, 570 games, pitched over 3,800 innings, 266 career wins, 279 complete games, 44 shutouts, and a good ERA.
And the only pitcher to ever pitch a no-hitter on opening day.
Opening day, yeah.
Sonny Gray almost did it last year.
So we missed seeing Bob Feller here at the ballpark. Passed away a couple years ago.
Yes, he did, and it is unfortunate because we'd always welcomed us to the wigwam.
Welcome to the wigwam. He was a nice man, and he liked to. He's always up here in the press box.
Yeah. And the one thing that Rapid Robert never did was hold anything back. If he had something to say, he would say it.
Yes, he would. Outside, 2-1 in Napoli. So Colomb, the final 2 outs in the 4th inning. One of those outs was a sacrifice fly. He'll face Napoli, Ramirez, and Chisenhall. Bottom of the 5th. It's a nice crowd today, but it's a mellow crowd. It's a Sunday crowd here, just relaxing on a warm day. 33,000 on Friday, 32,000 on Saturday, and less than that today, but all in all a very nice crowd. The Indians have really struggled with attendance for quite a while now, and it's starting to get a little bit better.
Well, the curveball to Mike Napoli, and it was crushed. Very strong man. What a great sign by the Cleveland Indians, and so many things that he can do on the field, off the field, and a great contributor to this ball club.
And the 3-2 pitch he takes outside, and it's a walk.
Ron Washington last night, of course, had him in Texas, and he was saying hello to me. He said, "Hey, I want to compliment you on that great instructional video you did on the Jumbotron here, how to play first base." But it was Friday night when he ranged so far to his right, the air in the game, instead of letting the ball go to Kipnis. But they do that here where they'll have instruction, and there's Mike Napoli. He never talked about range. He was talking about his footwork. So maybe that will give him a pass on that.
Well, in the dirt, Vogt can't find it. And Napoli waited for a second and then took off. So it'll be a wild pitch.
Well, he smothered it, hit his right shin, and maybe then Hunter Windlestan's foot kicked away from him.
Ramirez drives into right. Reddick hustling back, spinning around, and it's over his head and off the wall. Backed up by Smolinski. And Napoli will go to third. He'll stop there, and it's a double for Jose Ramirez. We don't see Reddick get turned around very often. He did there.
And we saw last night when Almonte, with one out, went halfway and then went back and tried to tag, could not. This time, Napoli with the ball. Of course, they respect the ability of Josh Reddick to catch the ball. And you're right, he got turned there a little bit as the ball was slicing. But when it caromed off the wall, Napoli, who was tagging, figured that Reddick was going to catch the ball, could only make it to third. But that's the way you do it. With nobody out, you stay in the bag and tag. One out, you go halfway so you can score.
Chisenhall swings and misses. Chisenhall has struck out and he has singled. 1 for 2. And 1 for 6 in the series. So 9 hits now for the Indians, 3 hits for the A's. Another swing and miss.
Well, you're talking about the Tigers, and I'm sure the Tigers looking at the A's and the way they've been playing since the All-Star break, and they've been playing well against the Astros. Thought maybe they could pick up some ground. The A's have played well this weekend while they were doing the same at home. That has not been the case. It's the A's trying to avoid a sweep today and down 7-0.
Jam shot foul. Tigers are rolling again today, Ray. They're leading the Astros 8-0 in the top of the 7th inning, and the Astros are going for the 3-game sweep. Or the Tigers, I'm sorry, are going for the 3-game sweep of the Astros. So Detroit playing great baseball.
Catcher McCann hit a grand slam.
Did he?
Yeah, I think his first career grand slam, because that would help. That was Keuchel. So there you have Keuchel, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, trying to avoid a sweep with Sonny Gray. The ace of the A's staff trying to do the same here, and so far neither one pitching well.
Swing and a miss. Chisenhall strikes out, and Colon gets a big out there, and now he'll face Tyler Naquin.
He's got the good curveball, and he utilizes it here against the lefty, and it starts and then breaks sharply away from the left-hander. But Daniel Colon has the excellent curveball. Of course, you worked with and talked to Clayton Kershaw and Sandy Koufax, 2 of the best with the curve. He should have a good one, and he does. Trying to do what Zach Neal did last night, Coulomb is, and that is trying to give Bob Ellis some innings after it started once again just 3 1/3.
First pitch to Naquin is inside. Rangers and the Royals are underway. Texas with a 2-1 lead in the first inning. G and Harold pitching matchup there. Lucas Harold making his first start for the Rangers. Rangers are going for a 4-game sweep there. So the Royals really struggling. They've lost 7 out of their last 8. 2-0 to Naquin.
I talked to Cody Allen this morning, of course, knowing that he has been the closer and Andrew Miller coming in. And first thing Cody Allen said was, you know, if you play the Rangers, for example, in postseason, which you never know if they make it, he's talking about the 8th inning against guys like Beltre and Andrus. They have some right-handed hitters in the lineup, and so he's very comfortable in doing whatever's necessary to help the Indians win. Andrew Miller, and they can mix and match the back end of the bullpen.
3-0 to Naquin. Naquin has singled twice and scored twice today. Inside, he walked in on 4 pitches.
And Van Walker would get a double play. The guy coming up is very aggressive.
That would be Abraham Almonte. Orioles and the Blue Jays tied 2-2 in the top of the 8th. The Orioles struggling. They've lost 5 in a row, and they are no longer in first place. The Blue Jays now in first place in the East.
Seems like when they're at home, they cannot be beaten.
Oh, man. Drive to left field. Christ goes back. Napoli will tag. Mike Napoli will head on home, and he will score, and it's 8-0. The Indians lead.
First run given up by Daniel Coulomb, although he had a sac fly and a nice play by Coco Crisp on Kipnis drive to left center that really saved a couple of runs. It was a sac fly. I'm looking at the numbers for Sonny Gray. He's made 20 starts. 5 times he's given up 7 runs in a game.
That's amazing.
5 times. It is amazing. And you wonder why his ERA is what it is. Did you get an update on
5.84 now is Sonny Gray's ERA.
But you have that many, and one game with 6 and one with 5. But remember, today he retired the first 6 batters and really just sailing. 20 pitches, throwing strikes, a couple of strikeouts, and then 4 runs or 5 runs on 4 hits, and 4 consecutive hits in the 4th inning.
1-0 to Roberto Perez. Perez has walked and scored and singled in a run. Coming into the game, Perez was 1 for 23. Strike called, 1-2. Perez thought it was low. He's chatting with Hunter Wendelstedt. It did look a little bit low. Just a little bit.
As the old saying goes, if you're a catcher, you say, whatever you say, sir, because I want my pitcher to get the same pitch.
Strike 3 called, and Hunter Wendelstedt, I think he was going to call that a strike no matter where it was. A run for the Indians. They lead 8-0. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. here on CSN California. The Quakes face off against the Dynamo in Houston. The home of the authentic Earthquakes fan is CSN. Check it out tonight at 6 p.m. We'll be on our way to Anaheim. Getting ready to take on the Angels. Looking forward to getting back home next weekend with the Cubs in town. Cubs, one of the more entertaining teams in baseball. A lot of very fine young talent. Coco Crisp to lead things off here in the 6th against Corey Kluber. Kluber has allowed 3 hits. He's got 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. So just a very solid performance, which is generally what you get from Corey Kluber.
One thing you get from a guy like him also is that give him an 8-run lead, he's not going to just throw fastball.
No.
He'll use all of his pitches, and right now his goal is to pitch a shutout. Pitch deep in the game, save the bullpen a little bit.
Crisp has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Misses inside, 3-1. And a 36-minute rain delay for the start of this game.
I forgot.
Yeah, it was a quick one.
Such a nice day.
Leadoff walk to Coco Crisp. Yeah, there's just a little storm that went through, and nothing major. And it is a very nice day with just enough cloud cover to keep it cool. So leadoff man aboard for the Athletics, and here's Marcus Semien, who has not had much success against Kluber. He has struck out twice, both times swinging. The Red Sox and the Angels will wrap up their 4-game series. That'll get started in a little bit. The Red Sox not playing well. They've lost 7 out of their last 9. So they're just hanging on to the second wild card spot right now.
They may not be done though.
No.
You never know about Dave Dombrowski. He's with the Red Sox in Anaheim. He always travels with the team and always making deals.
Drew Pomeranz has not won yet. He has not pitched great for the Red Sox. Some of the skepticism with the Pomeranz trade, it wasn't that Drew wasn't having a very fine year, because he was, but is that the fact that as far as amount of innings, he has never pitched a lot of innings as a starter, and what you're getting him for is the pennant race.
Exactly.
And Semien gets caught looking, and he strikes out for the 3rd time.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to AdVet Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
So with 1 out, here's Reddick, who takes a first pitch strike. A little tailing action on that one from Kluber.
Watching a little bit game last night, and Pomeranz is still pitching out of the stretch at the beginning of an inning, which feels very comfortable doing that. Still with a good curveball, fastball, but you're right about the innings. With the A's, he went between the bullpen and the rotation.
Yeah, and he's thrown a lot of innings this year because he's been in the rotation, but you still have 2 months left.
Yeah.
Important months. Red Sox will score a ton of runs. They have a terrific lineup. They just need the starting pitching to get rolling a little bit. Going out is Lindor. Lindor waits, and that's the 2nd out. So Reddick back to the dugout. He's 0 for 3. And that'll bring up Chris Davis.
But just when you think you got a chance to do something with a leadoff walk, Kluber retires the next 2 batters, the 2nd and 3rd hitter, and Chris Davis trying to do something against him.
Davis, a couple of strikeouts, both swinging today. And he went after that one, says Hunter Wendelstedt. And watching Kluber's delivery, it's a pretty basic delivery when you say, right? He doesn't do anything special. But you wonder if his stuff is good. But you always wonder, a guy who has a lot of strikeouts, is there some deception involved in his windup? It doesn't look like it, but we're not standing up there hitting either.
Yeah, I think we could ask Marcus Semien after the game, because
there must be something.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's, we're talking well over a 200 strikeout guy. Reached for, poked to right field. Chisenhall hustling back, still going back, and he makes the catch. So the A's do nothing with the leadoff walk. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 8-0 Cleveland. McDonald's. Ray Fosse as a Cleveland Indian. This is our favorite time of the game right here. First ever pick by the Indians in 1965. Couple of stints with the Tribe, 67 to 72, and then back. There he is, movie star / ball player. All right, there it is. All right, we love looking at the draft. Rick Monday went first to the A's. Joe Coleman, Ray Fosse 7th. Johnny Bench was a 2nd rounder. Ken Holzman. Craig Nettles, good names on that list.
Nolan who?
But the Indians grabbed
Nolan
you.
who? Was that Nolan Ryan, 226? How could they?
So do you remember an Indian scout coming to see you? Or
no? Walter Shannon. It was a kind of a group, and Walter Shannon, the Indian, signed me.
Okay.
But when he showed up, he said, never seen you. They went on the scouting report from the Pittsburgh Pirates. There was a group of, like I don't know, a combine, but a group of scouts who watched players, and they would put the information in, and they said, well, the Indians need a catcher, so they took that out. Walter Shannon came in.
And that was the first ever draft, so I mean, it was all new.
It was all brand new, and the reason they instituted the draft was to cut down on bonuses, and look at them today.
Yeah, that's true.
And what I mean, they slot in like 13 million, and the number 1 overall, I think, got over 9, and a little bit more than 28,000. You know, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and it was a matter of, I think Barry Zito said it best when he joined us. He said, I want to sign, I want to play, so I can get back here. That's right. And that's really what it's all about, to get to the big leagues. So, fortunately, with Cleveland, I was able to do that.
JB Wendelken is the new pitcher for the A's when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So 3rd pitcher of the day for the A's, Wendelken. And he gets the top of this Indians lineup, and Carlos Santana hits it hard. Shortstop spot manned by Healy with the shift on, 1 out. And of course, Ray's home for all those years. There it is. Municipal Stadium, no longer there down by the lake, but it was a beauty. There it is.
Mistake on the lake, and that was about it. But you know, one of the best photographs, and that was the opening in center field, and the wind would come in and swirl around left to right, right to left, and we'd have a huge crowd opening day, and that would be about 10% of the total attendance for the year. Your brother remembers that.
That day was always a big deal. And that is, I mean, it's the footprint. That's the new football stadium. But that is exactly where Municipal Stadium was. A couple of ground outs to the left side of the diamond. Semien takes care of this one.
They had a staircase that went up to the executive offices from just basically the ground level. As you walked up, they had photographs of a completely sold out stadium when they played the Yankees. And this is, of course, back in the 50s and 48 when the last won, 54 when they won, what, 111 or something like that, and then lost 4 straight to the Giants in the World Series. But I mean, they had some huge crowds. And when you had a stadium that held 75,000 for baseball, and then they expanded to about 80 for football, always sell out for the Browns, but not so much for the Indians, except those years when they won.
Semien, busy man, makes the catch. Side retired. So Winelkin has a 3-up, 3-down inning, and the 7th inning is coming up. 8-0 the Indians lead.
Back the clock day when the A's play host to the Chicago Cubs on Saturday, August the 6th. That will be next Saturday. 15,000 fans will go home with a retro Billy Ball 3/4 sleeve baseball tee. It's presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. In addition, the A's will be wearing throwback uniforms that pay homage to the 1981 Billy Martin team that advanced to the 1981 ALCS. Get tickets at athletics.com. Boy, those are. But bring back the magnificent 5 starting pitchers. Remember that?
Let's see. Matt Keogh, Mike Norris, Steve McCaddy, Rick Langford, Matt Keogh.
Got it.
Boom.
Cover.
Who needed a reliever?
No, they had 30 complete games each. That's 150 of 162.
Yeah, it would be fun to look at the amount of games that the relievers pitched that year for the A's. Probably not a lot. A couple years that group was together.
And I bet when Art Fowler went to the mound, it was very infrequent.
What are you doing out here, Art? Oh, 0-2 to Stephen Vogt.
I think to the 74 World Series, the A's had 9 pitchers on the staff for the World Series, used 5 in the World Series. But you think about those 5 starters that had complete games. I think Rick Langford had 29 or 30 himself. So why would you need so many pitchers? Just have a whole bunch of extra guys on the bench. Maybe have 3 or 4, so you could get away with maybe 8 or 9 total pitchers, especially with that many complete games.
1-2 pitch is ripped toward right field. Chisenhall back there reaches up, high backhander, and he makes the catch.
Why did he decide to play deep on that one? That ball is usually over his head considering he plays so shallow.
So 1 away. Still just 3 hits for the A's off Corey Kluber. Here's Alonso, who doubled in the second and hit a fly ball to left field in the fifth. And he rips one to center for a base hit. So Alonso has 2 of the A's 4 hits.
And double to right center over Chisenhall on this pitch. First pitch fastball. And unlike his last at bat when he felt or actually got ahead of the pitcher and then unfortunately hit a ball to left field on a 3-1 fastball. This one a little bit towards the middle of the plate.
So here's Smolinski. 1-out base runner for the A's. A little bit high. Smolinski looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 5. Well, the Tigers now leading the Astros 11-0. That game in the 8th inning. Makes you think maybe the Tigers will make a deal.
Yeah, that's true.
You always want to count the Tigers out, and too much talent on that team. That one driven to right down the line. Chisenhall's not going to get it. Bounces off the wall. So Alonso to third, and the ball skips past the second baseman, but Ramirez there to back it up.
There's the first hit and a good one. Second and third, 1 out. Jake Smolinski with his 5th double. And interesting thing watching him round first base as that ball got over the head of Chisenhall down in the corner, but he's watching Alonso to make sure he was going to go to third base. He did not want to continue to go into second, not paying attention. And that is always tough. Been there, done that, where you just put your head down, start running, and all of a sudden guy did not go to third. And he's standing at second as you slide in and you're out. A strong throw back in. So Smolinski, once he saw Alonso going to third, he had to hustle into second base with a good slide.
So here's Muncy. Muncy popped it up. That's not going to get it done. Lindor circling around it, and he makes the catch. So Muncy on the first pitch pops out, so he'll be frustrated with that, and it's up to Ryan Healy. 98 pitches for Corey Kluber, and no surprise, he's one of those guys. He can go to 115, 120 if he has to.
When Muncy walked his last at bat on a very good at bat, Healy, first pitch was a fastball away, hit the ball to right field. So the thing that Kluber has not done today in these situations is pitched inside. He's always stayed away as Perez moves outside again, as if to say, if you're going to hit it, you have to go to the opposite field. And like Ryan tried to pull a pitch that was outside, and all he could do is hit the ball weakly to right field. And I think that's what a young player like Healy is going to have to learn as his time progresses to the major league level. What pitchers will try to do. They'll be able to spot their fastballs, and they will not give in to a hitter. Get a pitch away. So that's why I say it's a constant game of adjustments. If you adjust and they adjust against you, then you have to adjust again.
Right at 100 pitches for Kluber. His season high this year is 115. So we'll see if he keeps the ball away from Healy. Probably will.
Probably a chase pitch.
And that's a good 0-2 pitch.
Well, Kluber's been around long enough. And like you said, in 10, he was in Double-A, now in the big league, Cy Young Award winner. You realize that the shortest distance to home run is down the line. And if you stay away and force a hitter going opposite field, it's a much harder path to take to try to hit the ball to the opposite field of a home run.
Close pitch, 2-2.
And then pitchers will say, okay, I got you leaning. Now here comes one inside. Well, that's the old thing about adjustments. 0-2 to 2-2.
And that one ran in on Healy, and he pops it up to shallow center. Naquin coming in, and that will do it. So the A's strand a pair, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. It's the Indians 8 and the A's nothing.
California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. It's coming up this evening, and it's Sportsnet Central. It's at 6 and 10:30, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. All the highlights from our game here in Cleveland and highlights from all around Major League Baseball on a busy day, and the 49ers and the Raiders. Full training camp reports. Kelly Johnson and Henry Wolford will host. So 8-0, bottom of the 7th. All Indians so far. Sonny Gray was knocked out in the 4th inning, gave up 7 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. Full mascot party, it looks like. I see the D-backs guy here.
Slider's birthday?
Yeah, Slider's birthday. So
wow.
There's the Nationals guy is here. Don't know what that is. Is that Screech? No, the Rockies guy Dinger. That's the one who stands behind home plate. 3-2 bottom of the 9th doing jumping jacks. The Parrot.
Stomper here?
Oh, there's nothing like a good mascot party.
They didn't fly Stomper in?
I think the Parrot just kissed Rosie Red, and I don't know if Rosie Red liked that or not. They're in the same division.
Wendelken, 3 fastballs right past Napoli.
So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Here we go. Caught her off guard. Of course, the celebration after probably didn't help much. Oh, man. Hey, it's 8-0.
That's right.
We're looking for entertainment. 0-1 to Jose Ramirez. J.B. Wendelken has retired the first 4 that he has faced.
It's only 1 pitch out of the strike zone. That was said Santana 1 and 2. Other than that, all strikes from Wendelken.
He's our kind of guy. Hunter Wendelstedt, he's got dinner reservations. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I think after the Perez debacle, that curveball. Well, just move out a little bit farther. Stephen Vogt into the Indians dugout, and there's a pitch just
right
on the
there.
outside corner. Look at the hitter. Ramirez said, "You got to be kidding me. I couldn't even reach it." That's the way I was when Eck pitched his no-hitter.
Right.
That far outside, and that was the look of the hitters, like, what? That far?
Although Eck said just once. There was one call that was questionable. All the other ones were strikes. 0-2 to Lonnie Chisenhall.
This guy's a machine.
That's the ratio we like. Hit foul down the left field line. Not done with the Indians yet. They will come out to Oakland August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. See if they're still holding on to first place 3.5 weeks from now. They're in extra innings now in Toronto, 2-2. The Orioles and the Blue Jays, top of the 10th. That one hooked foul down the left field line. Well hit, home run distance for Chisenhall.
How can you celebrate when you have a ball flipped to you by the ball boy?
No, that's a non-celebration. So Chisenhall is going to be aboard. It was kind of a do-or-die play for Healy. Chisenhall runs fairly well.
Those plays that Healy was working on with Ron Washington before the game, before the gates open, but really you're playing back with 2 strikes. He just punched the ball slowly past Wendelken, and you catch it in your hand, you make the throw, you might get him, but once you miss it, it is a really do or die, no chance, and can't be upset, especially with 2 strikes, you're playing deep.
So it is indeed a hit, and that's the 10th of the Indians. And here's Tyler Naquin, who's had a big ball game. Naquin is 2 for 2, 2 singles, a walk, and 2 runs scored. The bottom 3 in the order. Let's see, I got him for 5 for 6.
That's right.
With 5 singles, 2 walks, and a sacrifice fly. Is that right?
And a strikeout to Perez that maybe wasn't. Maybe you put an asterisk beside that for Mr. Wendelstedt.
So the bottom 3.
Yeah, they've done it.
Yep.
And then in that 3rd inning, those bottom 3 got on, and what happened? Top of the order, 2-run single by Kipnis, sac fly, and a 2-run home run by Napoli.
Yep.
So they set the table, and the big boys at the top, and the middle part of the batting order took advantage.
2 balls, 20 strikes for Wendelken. I think what we've seen too is, to the Indians' credit, a lot of good at bats. They got 3 sacrifice flies today. That's Zach McAllister, who was just off the disabled list yesterday. Chisenhall not being held at first, and the pitch is high, and now it's 3-2, 93 miles an hour. So the payoff, and it'll have Chisenhall running. There he goes. And it's hit high and foul into the upper deck, and then it takes a big bounce all the way down. So we'll do the 3-2 count again. Runner goes, and the ball's bounced left side. Healy with a nice play, spins around, throws to first. to get the Speedy Naquin side retired. 8th inning coming up. 8-0 Cleveland. Podcast is live on CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, and special guests. This week, Joe's guest is the young third baseman Ryan Healy. A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz. It is sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. Get it all on CSNCalifornia.com.
And Joe will not have a chance to show this play or talk about this play, but we'll show you as a nice play as he reached down, grabbed it, of course, settled himself and made a strong throw to Alonso at first, and a nice defensive play after the slow hit ball he could not handle. Given a hit, but this he takes a hit away from the Speedy Naquin. So nice play by Ryan Healy.
So 8-0 Indians when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Here's big Zach McAllister. Just back from the disabled list. He was having some hip issues. So he was on the disabled list for a little bit. Now he's back.
Sounded like they were happy to get him back so Manship could go on the deal because he had been injured. Thought maybe the Indians might bring in Andrew Miller if he showed up just to get the crowd excited.
Sure, bring him in.
Starting to pitch an inning.
Very good start for Corey Kluber. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 103 pitches. Coco Crisp is 0 for 2 with a walk. Remember McAllister had a 3-year period where he was a starter for the Indians and he had some success. A little inconsistent. Last year they put him in the bullpen and he was very, very good. He pitched in 61 games, had an ERA right at 3, and had 84 strikeouts in 69 innings. So he could be a valuable piece for this Indians bullpen. Big, strong guy, 6'6", 250 pounds.
Just like Anderson was a starter, now in the bullpen, so they do have not only position players who can move around, but pitchers as well.
Strike 3 call, and Coco knew it.
And a note that Miller is scheduled to arrive tonight. That's not surprising. He just traded last night and give him a chance to regroup. Fastball right down the middle, and Coco knew it. And back to the dugout. I'd say right now, swing at anything.
Yeah. Indians are home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And of course, then next weekend they'll go to New York. So Andrew Miller will be able to pick up the rest of his things
Exactly.
over the weekend.
Yeah, come into Cleveland and stay in a hotel and come to the yard and get on a plane and go back and pack it up, because he will be in Cleveland with that contract that he had signed.
Indians home a lot. A stretch where they're not home games, so that helps. I would think, you know, you get traded, but yours was right before the season, right?
Yes, it was.
There's a lot to
10
do.
days. Yeah. Well, my wife Carol took care of everything, and you know, it was a spring training. We had a place back here in Cleveland, and she had to fly back, close it up, and then come out to California. But it brings up a point about Jonathan Lucroy, because a catcher is a very important member of a ball club. In that, if you're traded in the offseason, you have all spring to get to know your pitching staff. If the Indians acquire a catcher, somebody like Lucroy, and that deal, although he vetoed it, he could still show up.
That one is ripped towards center, bounces at the base of the wall, and Semien is going to round second, and he's going to put on the brakes. He was thinking triple. Then he stopped. So Marcus Semien, after striking out the first 3 times, he'll feel a little bit better anyways, as this was a well-struck ball.
Well, high fastball, the 2 strikes, and of his 22 home runs, 12 have come with 2 strikes. This almost is 13th with 2 at his 23rd, but up on the high wall in left center. No chance for the center fielder Naquin to get to it. But yeah, he has the speed to get to third, but when you're down 8 runs, be satisfied to be in scoring position and try to score from there. But let's say Jonathan Lucroy joins this ball club. He's got 2 months in possible postseason. He knows nothing about the starting or the bullpen of the Indians. And there's some comfort level in a pitching staff throwing to catchers who have been here and have caught them. Matter of fact, Jimenez was taken with Kluber, who won the Cy Young Award 2 years ago. He had him there to be present while he accepted the award, showing his appreciation for the work that he did. But you know, the one thing is learning a staff, and that's why Bruce Maxwell catches as many guys in the bullpen as you can. He's caught a lot of them at AAA, but familiarize yourself as much as possible so that you know when you catch, whether it's Lucroy coming to a new team, or in the case of Maxwell joining the ball club, caught a lot in spring training, but maybe not everybody. Get to know as many as you can, because you're behind the plate and they're depending on you as a catcher to do your job.
Yeah, and it's not catching just any old staff. I mean, it's probably the best rotation 1 through 5 in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Or close to it. One and 2 to Reddick. In the air to left center. It's going to hang up. Almonte is there, and Almonte grabs it. So quiet day for Reddick. He's 0 for 4. And 2 outs now, and it'll be Chris Davis.
Now at bat for the A's, number 2, Chris Davis.
I got the A's 0 for 7 in runners with runners in scoring position. That's unofficial. Just a quick glance at my scorecard. That would make them 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position in this series.
That's not good.
Yeah, 0 for 7. 6 total runs scored so far in the series.
That would have been the only lefty right now in the bullpen of the Indians. Crockett. They still have another one.
Slide over.
Yeah. Have another one tomorrow, so Crockett can be used in different situations.
2-0 now to Chris Davis, who has struck out twice and hit a fly ball to right field.
Just thinking this weekend series, Kyle, after the comeback effort against the Rangers bullpen on Wednesday, scoring 4 the two-run home runs. If Reddick's ball got another 10 feet, 3-run home run the 9th, and they had won Friday night, who knows what this weekend could have been for the A's. Instead, it was caught, lost last night, losing big this afternoon.
As much as you'd like to carry over momentum from game to game or even series to series, I don't know that you can in baseball. Some people think you can. And it's very tough to do.
Talking to Tom Hamilton. He was here in 2007 when the Indians had a 3-1 lead over the Red Sox. And that was the first year they had the extra off day in between in the league championship. And he said to the man, Eric Webbs, the manager, they all said that was the biggest difference, because at that point they had 3-1 lead. Had they played,
they wanted to play.
They wanted to play, because that game 5 would have been played, but instead they had the extra off day. Boston came back and won the 3, and Terry Francona was managing that team, but they had their rotation set up. They had 3 aces to go in the final 3, and they did not change the rotation, just like Bumgarner in 2014. They kept him on turn, so he was available to pitch Game 7 of the World Series. And as it turned out, it was like a start for him anyway when he came in relief.
3-2 to Davis. Simeon at second base. 2 outs. Check swing, and Chris Davis did not go around.
Make a pitching change. Going to bring the lefty in to face Vogt. Crockett, as Chris Davis held, about to bat back.
So McAllister gets a couple of outs, leaves a couple of base runners, and we'll be back.
Weekend when the A's return to the Coliseum. Interleague play does return August the 5th through the 7th, when the Chicago Cubs make a rare visit to face the Athletics. Come and see Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and the rest of the Northsiders at this early August weekend series. Get a special ticket for Friday Italian Heritage Night. Come for Saturday's Turn Back the Clock Day, or enjoy some sunshine at Sunday's 1:05 p.m. matinee. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets. Ben Zobrist, former Athletics infielder, outfielder, is on that team. Let's see Joe Madden, formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's see Davy Crockett. Well, that's not his name.
No. Could be a distant relative.
Well, it's not a common name. But the only lefty until Andrew Miller shows up. He comes in to face Stephen Vogt. Some heads kind of spinning a little bit. 8-run lead. What are you doing? But Crockett hasn't pitched in the series. Many years ago, when Dennis Eckersley was with the club and facing the Mariners early in the season, and he had not worked, and Tony La Russa actually told the manager, can't remember the names, and he said, I have to get my closer in the game, this final game. And he told him in advance, and he said, so if I bring him in and we have a lead, I don't want you to be upset.
Yeah.
And at least he gave him warning, but there were some upset people wondering, what are you doing bringing a closer in a game that's, you got a big lead? But it was simply to get work. And you have to think for Terry Francona, it's been nice to leave McAllister in his first appearance since returning from the DL. He'll try to get through this inning, but gives his lefty a chance to get the final out.
And that one's grounded up the middle, and a nice play at second. The throw to second, they got him. That's Eric Gonzalez, who just came in the game, and he made a sensational play, and he fired it to Lindor, and they got Chris Davis, and the inning comes to an end. All right, game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 0-6-0 for the Athletics, and for the Indians, 8-10-0. So the Indians on the verge of a 3-game sweep. And the struggling season continues for Sonny Gray. 7 earned runs and 8 hits in 3 1/3 innings. Corey Kluber was very good. And what a play to end the top of the 8th inning. This is, again, Eric Gonzalez, who just came in the game for Kipnis.
The only play he had was to do this, and for Lindor to make the play also on a hard thrown ball, taking a hit away from Stephen Vogt.
So Almonte on the first pitch pops out to the third baseman Healy in foul territory. 1 out.
It's like a pitcher or a second baseman. Maxwell is a new catcher for the A's, making a hard quick throw to first base with about 10 feet to work. But that was a great play, and unfortunately took a hit away from Stephen Vogt.
So with 1 out, here's catcher Roberto Perez. 3rd inning of work for J.B. Wendelken, and he's been good. 2 1/3, just 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts. There's the big curve, which you don't see a lot. Perez walked and a run scored. That was in the 3rd. Singled in a run in the 4th. Struck out looking in the 5th. Austin Adams starts to throw. Right-hander.
Talking about the hits with runner in score position, that would have been a hit for Stephen Vogt if the A's had been able to score a run. And again, still 0 for as they're trying to avoid being shut out.
Now 3-2, 92 miles an hour, and swing and a miss by Perez. Reached for, poked foul. So in that series in Anaheim, on Tuesday it'll be Sean Manaea and Matt Shoemaker. Wednesday, Kendall Graben and Jared Weaver. The A's do not have anybody listed for Thursday. The Angels have Lincecum listed. And that one misses. Ball 4. So the A's pitchers now have walked 5 in this game. Sounded like maybe the Lincecum start maybe up in the air a little bit. His ERA is over 8.
Yeah,
he has not pitched well for them.
Great game he had was his first one
Yep.
against the A's at the Coliseum. His fans are cheering for him in his days pitching for the Giants.
It's a final in Detroit. The Tigers beat the Astros 11-0. That is a 3-game sweep for the Tigers. The Astros now 5.5 back. We'll wait on that Texas final. Santana, big swing. Santana walking around a little bit. This was the swing before that, and saw that, and he's still stretching out. He's not going in the. We're going to come out and look at him. He's well away from the plate over on the grass now.
I'm sure Terry Francona is not going to mess around. I mean, he wants to keep him healthy, and if there's any possibility that he's going to try to stay in the game and be hurt, but looks like he talked his way into staying.
So the count is 0-2 to Santana, who's 0 for 3 today with a walk. A little bit high. Changeup at 82 miles an hour.
One of the newest injuries in baseball, the intercostal strain.
Yeah.
And guys take a swing, big swing, and kind of tweak what is basically the side muscles. Takes a toll.
On the infield, Simeon coming in on the grass. And Marcus Simeon makes the play. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Santana moving slow. That's not the usual Carlos Santana swing.
His knee. Well, he's running, but who knows?
So with 2 outs, there's the youngster Eric Gonzalez who made that great play. So Jason Kipnis did plenty of damage. It's the rest of the game up, but he had a great series. Swing and a miss by Gonzalez, and it's a quick 0-2. 41 pitches for Mendelkin. Swing and a miss. So on 3 pitches, Gonzalez strikes out, and the walk, and that's it for the Indians. Last shot for the A's. They're trailing 8-0. CSN California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. Beautiful day here in Cleveland, but a bit too much Indians this weekend. They have really played well, and they're 3 outs away from a sweep of the A's. So that's a little frustrating. The A's had a very nice series down in Arlington where they won 2 out of 3. But they have not been able to bring that here to Cleveland. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So it's Austin Adams, our first look at him in this series. So Adams, his 13th appearance. And it would be Yonder Alonso leading things off for the A's. Alonso's got a couple of hits. He goes after the first pitch, hits one toward left. Almonte backing up, a couple steps in front of the warning track, and on one pitch, Alonso was out. Santana out of the game. The new first baseman is Chris Jimenez.
I'm not surprised after watching Santana at the plate and running to first. Of course, not the DH today, which should have changed it, but he's still 0 for. They're trying to avoid being shut out, but down to 2 outs before that is the reality. There's a chance for runners at second and third. 1 out. Yep, got a pop.
The A's have been shut out 5 times this year. On the ground to short. Lindor gets a good hop. 2 outs. So Smolinski 1 for 4. And it's up to Muncy, trying to keep the game going. Good chunk of the crowd is headed home. Indians will get ready for the Twins tomorrow night. A's will have an off day in Anaheim tomorrow. There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Had a 36-minute rain delay to start today's ball game.
Thinking about what happened in Baltimore, day-night doubleheader. You had a rain delay in Texas, rain delay here. Last year, no rain delays, no rain has nothing happened last year. Not so far, with the exception of that one in Baltimore, and able to play all the games.
One to Muncy, who has singled, walked, and hit a pop out to short. So now the count is full.
That was a 9th inning, 2-out, 8-0 game start. So Max in and close, let it go.
That one is lined toward left. Right there is Almonte, and that's the ball game. So kind of a forgotten weekend here in Cleveland, as it is all Indians. They sweep the A's, finish it off today with a shutout. So the game took 2 hours and 43 minutes in front of 23,739. Final score today: the Indians 8 and the A's nothing. You've been watching A's baseball on CSN California. It's all part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Henry and Biff starts right now.